Hi everybody, welcome to Christina's Knitting Catch-Up. I'm Christina and you can find me on Ravelry as Chrissa, that's C-H-R-I-S-S-A-A-H. Welcome to the podcast. I noticed that I've had a lot more subscribers this past week and I'm really excited about that. That's so cool. So I really hope you enjoy it. It's just me talking about knitting and stuff, which is what a lot of the podcasts are. So I hope that's enjoyable for you. And thank you very much for subscribing. So let's get right into it. What's on my needles? I've got a few things. Firstly, I've got my Lobelia cardigan, which I've been working on. Still not finished, but it's quite a bit longer than it was. And I've put it on 2 needles so that I can show you what it's like worn. Take that off. Okay. Put it on 2 needles so that, you know, it's long enough. There's the sleeve. So it's got a quite high neck, which is going to be lovely, I think. And then it's about this long so far. So almost to my waist. Or about to my waist, really. So I've still got a way to go. But I thought I'd knit it. Oh, it's lovely. Might just wear this. I thought I'd knit it maybe about down to my hip, or a bit longer than this, and then do the ribbing, which is a lovely cabled ribbing. I might just wear this, it's lovely. Very enjoyable, soft and warm, just how I like things. So that's the first thing that's on my needles. I feel like I've been knitting it forever now because it is quite fine and slow going. Very slow. Gee, it's lovely to feel. It feels so soft and warm. It's just lovely. Yes, so that's lovely. I like it a lot. Have a look at the little pattern there. Isn't that cute? So excited. Can't wait to have it done. It's going to be the best. So that's the first thing that's on my needles. The second thing is still this sock. I haven't had much of a chance to do much knitting this week, so it's not much longer than last week. Last week I just finished the shaping. This week I've done a bit more. Because this is on 2mm needles, not 2.25, which is what I normally have, it's taking a bit longer, but I think the end result might be nicer as well. It'll be a bit finer, a bit snug, because I didn't change the stitch count, I just changed the needle size. And this yarn is Fiberweb's Sparkle Sock, and Fiberweb's is a local dyer that I really like. So you can see there's a bit of variegation in the yarn and also a pretty sparkle. So I've caked it up into 2 cakes ready to go of even weight. So hopefully they're the same length. And I forgot to say this, this beauty is Angora Haze, which is a Rowan yarn, which is quite a fluffy yarn. So I'm looking forward to being a total fluffy fluff ball, which is nice. This jumper I'm wearing, I didn't make this, but this is a cashmere blend, and it's kind of fluffy and soft and lovely. And my husband says that he likes to cuddle me when I'm wearing that. Not that he doesn't cuddle me at normal times as well, but with this Angora jumper, I think I'll be very cuddleable, which will be nice. I like cuddles. Okay, what else? I've got this lacy scarf that I'm making for my mum. And I've used 1 ball of this yarn now, so I'm on to the second one. And so I think I really only need the rest of this ball and then it'll be enough. It's hard to see how long it is. I suppose that's about 1 meter long. And as I said last week, I just I took an edging pattern and I just knit on the wrong side as well to make it double-sided. It's sort of little waves. You can see it best when it's on a dark background, which is how Mum intends to wear it, I think. I've made one mistake, which is all the way... Where is it? Well, that's a good sign. Here it is. There was a row when I purled instead of knitted, and that created like a stocking stitch. You can't even see it on the front, and a reverse stocking stitch on the back. You can't really see it, but your eye is kind of drawn to it, even though you don't really know what you're looking at sometimes. Like a little dark patch or a little light patch on the fabric. I'm glad it's so unnoticeable, and I'm certainly not going to go back and undo it, because that would just take forever. Oh, and this yarn, I can't remember the brand, but it is an Australian yarn, which is an alpaca silk blend, and it's very fluffy. I'm doing a lot of fluffy things. It's very fluffy, and it's got this silk in the middle, which I think is the strong bit, and then the alpaca is the fluffy bit, I think. It's very strong, and it's fairly annoying to knit with, unfortunately, which is, you know, I could have been done with this by now, but it's fairly annoying to knit. It's a 4-row pattern, not a hard pattern at all, but the yarn is kind of hard to knit with, so yeah. Oh, and I realised, I forgot to tell you, with this sock, these needles are my 2mm needles, but one of them, this one, has a really funny point. See if you can see that. It's sort of got a little knobbly bit on the end that's really sharp. So these were just cheap needles. I don't even remember getting them, but as a result, I haven't really enjoyed knitting this sock very much. So that's a shame. I will do it. I've figured out that if I just knit with the other end of this needle, then it's okay. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm not enjoying that so much. And also I'm not enjoying this so much. I'm still enjoying this, it's just slow. And there's two more things on my needles. This I cast on last night. I'm going to make my dad a pair of, what are they called? Sort of mitts, because he's always sitting on the computer, and my parents' house is pretty cold. He's sitting on the computer doing work, and he gets really cold hands. So that's how that will go. It was a very easy looking free pattern on Ravelry, just stocking stitch. It's called the Agatha mitts, I think, and it's for ladies, so I just made the gauge a little bit bigger for my dad. And the yarn is very exciting. The yarn is Plucky Knitter Primo Worsted in the colour Red Haven, and the Primo Worsted is merino, cashmere and nylon. So this feels nice and smooth, pretty soft, mostly smooth, and hopefully it'll be nice and strong because of the nylon content, and it'll be good for him. It's not really my dad's colour, or in fact my colour, but I don't think he'll mind. He's more of a blue person. I don't think he'll mind because he just wants to have warm hands. So this is for Father's Day, which is coming up on the first Sunday in September here. I think Father's Day is different here than it is in America. Mother's Day might be the same. So, which also happens to be very close to my mum's birthday. So in the past we've had Mum's birthday and Father's Day on the same day, which has been a bit of a fun joint kind of celebration. But this year they're on separate days, but we might celebrate on the same day. So knitting these fingerless mitts for my dad and this lacy scarf for my mum. And I caked that up. And the last thing that's on my needles is my alpaca jumper that I've shown you a few times. I haven't done anything on it this week, unfortunately, and I'm calling it a plop. I've been watching Tilly Trout, her podcast, and she calls projects like that plops, which stands for Project in Long-Term Ongoing Progress. And I think that's what my jumper is. I'll show you anyway because I just will. See, it's lovely. It's lovely. It's just a bit of a drag, and I've got these other things with actual deadlines. These two presents have deadlines. So that's what's been on my needles, and I haven't finished anything this past week. I felt like a bit of a failure, but that's okay. So now I wanted to talk a little bit about things I really like. And I've had a bit of trouble thinking of something this week. Hasn't been a bad week. Last week was worse, that's for sure. But I couldn't think of anything much, and then today I realized what I like is sleeping in. This morning I got to sleep in until about 9 o'clock, and it was just the best. And I had all these cool, weird dreams, and it was just lovely. And when I woke up, I thought, I don't even have to get up right now. So I slept in a little bit more, and it was just lovely. And I just have been pretty tired the past week, so it's nice to get a little bit of extra shut-eye. And the other thing that I really like is stash busting. And this is a stash bust, these mitts. I bought this yarn last year in a de-stash because I thought I would use it for something. I ended up using something else. So it's been sitting there for a while, and now I get to use it, and it just feels good to use up my stash. It just feels great. So where I keep my stash is actually in, I don't have a huge stash, but I keep my stash in 2 boxes like this. And also a little bit in a drawer. But in this one, there's a pattern. I keep a bunch of things. I've got some Cascade 220. I have a plan for that. I've got this yarn I'm going to make my husband's jumper out of. I've got the rest of my Angora Haze yarn. I've got this yarn I bought in a de-stash as well. I used half of this for that other project I mentioned, which was a hat. So I might make another hat, who knows? That's a little bit of hand spun that I did. Let's see. In the other one, I have yarn with a bit of a more of an unclear purpose. So this yarn is mostly yarn I've bought without any clear idea of what I'm going to do with it, but that I really like. So there's this possum yarn I bought the other week. I love that. There's this Barocco folio, which is alpaca and rayon, which is beautifully soft. I keep thinking I might make a hat out of that, but then I keep not making a hat. I've got this merino cashmere nylon by Fiberwebs, which is just beautiful, and I don't know what to make with it. I've got this silk merino sock by Fiberwebs, which is beautiful, and I don't know what to do with it. Maybe a shawl. This is the same yarn. I've got this stuff I bought recently that I told you about. Where is it? Tibetan yak down, which I bought because I thought it was a good cause. I liked it as well. And I've got some yak here as well. I made something out of it and then I didn't like it, so I undid it. So this is the undone one and this is the fresh one. So brown's not really my colour, but it feels nice. It's like a lace weight, it's very thin. And let's see, what else have I got? Oh, I guess I'll pull this one out. This is my gradient yarn kit from Black Trillium Fibres, which is beautiful and I want to use it, but can't find a shawl design that I really want to make. And then I've got some just plain alpaca, which is very nice. Okay, let's put this away. But anyhow, I really like stash busting because I feel kind of bad about having so much yarn and not using it. I don't know, I feel bad about a lot of things. Oh, and in my drawer, excuse me, in my drawer, I have like the little ends and scraps, and I thought, I have this vague thought of one day making a little scrap blanket like everybody does, because they're cute. But I don't just stash bust yarn, I'm also stash busting a lot of other things in my life. And the first thing that I'm destashing is notebooks. And I don't know how, but over the years I've accumulated about 1,000 billion notebooks. And I don't really use notebooks that much. Look, this one has 2 pages left. So what I've been doing is writing a list of things to do, and when the day comes to an end, I rip out the list, and then I have one less page in my notebook, and also I've done some stuff. Here's some of the other notebooks I have. This one's cute. Milk tea. What does that say? Your love as sweet as sugar. Can you tell me how to forget? Appropriate. And this one, it's a bit harder to tear pages out, but I've been doing that. Got another one here, which someone gave me. Shoes. Sticky notes. Like, I have a whole stack of notebooks over there. Fancy ones, not fancy ones, little ones, big ones. I have so many notebooks. So please no one ever give me a notebook ever again in my life. I have enough. I have notebooks beyond life expectancy. I also have pencils beyond life expectancy. And you know, I feel bad about throwing these things out. Maybe I wouldn't feel so bad about throwing this one out, but I'm just trying to use things up a little bit more than I have been. Notebooks, yarn, pencils, pens. Somehow we've accumulated so much soap. So I've been trying to use that up, and also my fabric stash. So speaking of fabric stash, I did a little bit of sewing this week, which was really nice because you know, I don't get to do it all that often. I went to my sewing meetup last Saturday, which was super fun, and I got to meet some new people and talk to some old friends, and it was just lovely. I made what I usually made, which is a pair of underpants. Ooh. Yeah, I make my own underpants. This fabric's just a cotton, very stretchy, very lovely, and I really like it. And if you can see, whoop, back there, that's my dress form, and it's wearing a singlet that I made myself out of the same fabric. I thought I'd wear it for pajamas in summer, but it came out a little bit small, so I'm sort of also putting it on my dress form to stretch it out, which I hope works. Yeah, hopefully that gets a bit bigger because it was a bit like wearing a corset. I'm sure it'll work. So that's some things I like. Stash busting. Where's my notes? Here's my notes. This is also where I write my show notes, and then I can tear them out and get rid of it. Okay, so what I thought I'd do is I thought I'd review a book every week, or a magazine, because I have quite the collection of knitting magazines and books just there in my bookshelf. Hey, why don't you have a look? Just move this chair. So that bottom shelf there that you can see is all the knitting stuff. Sorry. So I thought I'd review a book each week, or a magazine, and today I've got Novelty Knits 35 Fun and Fabulous Jumper Designs by Giles and his daughter, Brandreth. And this guy, Giles Brandreth, is a famous British broadcaster, I'm pretty sure. He presents TV shows and such like. And I think he's on the show Countdown as the dictionary guy. And his trademark throughout his long career has been that he wears funny jumpers. And it's rather cute, actually. If you look, there he is, as a younger man. And because he's a famous British celebrity, a lot of the photographs in this book are of his British celebrity friends. Joanna Lumley, anyone? I think Joanna Lumley is wonderful. And it's just got all of these beautiful intarsia, is it intarsia? Designs, or fair isle maybe. And this is one of my favourite ones, ducks in a row. Isn't that great? Does anyone know the 3 ducks kitsch kind of wall hangings that people used to have? I really want 3 ducks. I think that they're the best. There are some really dreadful ones. It's kind of loud and awful. And it goes on the back as well. So the snake sort of wraps around his neck. Here's the one Joanna Lumley wears. Isn't she lovely? Gee, I like her. Let's find some other people you may know. There's Jane Asher. For those who know Jane Asher, that's quite a cute one, isn't it? Oh, you all know this guy. Those who watch Downton Abbey. It's Lord Grantham, Hugh Bonneville, wearing a lovely VW Beetle. And there's a bunch of other celebrities in here too that I don't particularly know. But there's some really great funny designs that I just think they're so cute. Yeah, like I said, some of them are dreadful. I wouldn't wear that in a pink fit. But some of them I really do like. I really like the 3 ducks. What's going on there? That's pretty tacky, isn't it? Oh gosh, look at this. His and hers tuxedos. How dreadful. I love it though. It's a lovely tongue-in-cheek book. It clearly has its heart in the right place, I think. This one's lovely. One for Halloween maybe? A ghost jumper? I don't know. We don't really do Halloween here so much. And there's a couple of great Christmas designs as well. Snowman. Inappropriate for here, obviously. Might make it anyway though. Cute Santa. I like that one. And the reindeer. Oops, wrong way. So they're fun, aren't they? And it's got a little bit about his career and how he always wore jumpers. And some of the jumpers that he did used to wear, I don't know who knit them for him, but some of the ones he used to wear are in this book as well, written out so you can make them. So that's a great book. I do recommend this book. I haven't knit anything from it, but you know, it's on my never-ending list of things I want to knit, is that 3 ducks jumper. Let me find it again, because I like it so much. Is it crazy that I like this so much? I think it's awesome. Yeah, I think it's super cool. So yeah, that's that book, Novelty Knits. I haven't found many of these patterns on Ravelry, and I actually only know about this book because that 3 ducks pattern was also in the Knitter magazine, which is my favourite magazine. And I saw that and I thought, that is awesome. I wonder if there is any other good ones in the book. And since they're not on Ravelry, I just bought it and thought maybe there'll be something good. And there is. I really like it. And of course it tells you how to follow the patterns and how to knit and things like that. So it's a superb book. I do recommend it. Okay, so that's that. Thought I'd just do a couple of shout outs today. Firstly, I've started watching Tilly Trout, which is a lovely podcast from Tilly, who lives in England. And she is so joyous and happy and interesting. And she's got hilarious observations, and I like her a lot. So that's Tilly Trout. I also just wanted to say hello to Andrea, because she mentioned me in her podcast and she said that she thinks I'm a fast knitter, and so this week I haven't finished anything. Yeah, I feel like I used to be a fast knitter when I used to knit one thing at once, and then I started a podcast, and now I'm knitting 5 things at once. The more whips you have, the less finished objects you have, right? So I just started casting on when I got bored with the old stuff. It's not a good thing to do. Don't do it. Just finish your things. So I think that's it, right? I didn't want to shout out anyone else. And I just wanted to tell you a bit about my week. So last week when I spoke to you, I was feeling pretty down, pretty tired. Since then, I've only had one super early morning, and that was yesterday. And apart from that, it's been all very normal, so I'm feeling a lot less tired, a lot less dreadful. I'm still in significant pain in my tummy. I actually, on Wednesday, which is another slow work day, on Wednesday I rang up my physio and I said, please, can I come in and you see me because I'm in so much pain? And I went in and he said, oh no, it's still definitely muscle that is bothering you, and it's just a flare up and you'll be all right in a few days. So so hopefully he's right and I feel better tomorrow, because it's still pretty bad. It's not as bad as it was Tuesday night. Wednesday night it was the worst. I considered going to hospital. And when I consider going to hospital, I know it's pretty bad. But I felt a lot better Thursday morning, so went off to work. And I'm sort of okay today, much better than I was. So hopefully tomorrow I can get back onto my exercises, which had been helping, but I'm not to do the ones with the elastic band anymore, because clearly that really set me off. So in other news, it was our 3rd wedding anniversary on Tuesday, which was lovely. On our wedding anniversary, I usually put on my wedding dress again, and I couldn't do it up. So, oh well. I was pretty skinny when we got married, and I've put on a bit of weight, so that's fine. It's good. It's healthy, but that's always fun to do. And we had some champagne and Chinese takeaway and watched Muriel's Wedding, which is an Aussie classic film, which we hadn't seen, but it was really great. Yeah, it was really lovely film. I do recommend Muriel's Wedding. And let me think, went to a concert last night. For once I didn't have to play in it. So that was very relaxing. And yeah, this afternoon I'm meeting up with Andrea from the Wonderwall podcast, and I'm excited about that. I will probably change out of my half-done cardigan for that particular meeting. And she's got a Ravelry group, and she's doing a knit-along, and she's got prizes and stuff, and she's a newer podcaster than me, so I was wondering, should I start a Ravelry group too? I'm kind of tempted. I'm also kind of shy, so please let me know if you think I should start a Ravelry group, because as you saw, I have lots of yarn that is beautiful that I wouldn't mind giving away as prizes and in knit-alongs and things, so that might be really fun, and do let me know, because I appreciate feedback and I love getting messages on Ravelry, and I love, you know, friend requests and stuff like that. It all really makes my day a lot. So thanks very much for all of your support, and hopefully I'll see you next week with a couple of finished objects. So have a really good week. I hope you're all well, and I hope you're all happy and doing what you love. So have a great week. Bye.